Yo, guys, Urban Bars brings you the best UK reactions to rap, hip hop, and urban music from all around the world. And guys, I always say to myself, I have to challenge myself each and every single day. That's the only way that we learn and we grow. And guys, we are checking out our man here, and it's our man JBP, and he's got something he wants to get off his chest. And guys, the title of this is called I'm More Afraid of Hell Than Death. And guys, this is something that I need to find out myself. So let's check out our man Jordan B. Peterson, and let's check out being more afraid of hell than death.
Let me ask you a difficult question
as opposed to the easy ones that you've been asking so far.
well, Dostoevsky is always just a warm up.
Dostoevsky.
So if death every single day is the way to progress through life, you have become quite famous.
Death and hell.
Death and hell.
Yeah, because you don't want to forget the hell part.
Do you worry that your fame traps you into the person that you were before?
Yeah, well,
I'm going to interject just before then. So, yeah, that's something really interesting because a lot of people don't equate. There's a difference between dying and being in the state of hell. So some people do not agree that hell exists. Some people do, and some people are afraid to die. But because some people think there's nothing after life, so after life comes death, and there's nothing after death, because after life comes death, and that's the be all and end all, nothing more, just darkness. But other people think that after life comes death, and then after death there may be an acquaintance with the afterlife, and then maybe potentially having to go through hell first. Let's find out, guys. Let's find out.
and Elvis became an Elvis impersonator by the time he died.
Yeah, do you fear that you have become a Jordan
like
Peterson
that.
impersonator?
Elvis became an Elvis impersonator before he died. That's interesting. I've not heard that before. That is interesting, guys.
Do you fear of, in some part, becoming the famous suit-wearing, brilliant Jordan Peterson? The certainty in the pursuit of truth, always right.
I think I worry about it more than anything else. I hope I do. I better.
Has fame, to some degree, when you look at yourself in the mirror, in the quiet of your mind, has it corrupted you?
No doubt, in some regard. I mean, it's a very difficult thing to avoid, because things change around you. People are much more likely to do what you ask, for example, right? And so that's a danger, because one of the things that keeps you dying properly is that people push back against you optimally. This is why so many celebrities spiral out of control, especially the tyrannical types that, say, run countries. Everyone around them stops saying, yeah, you're deviating a little bit there. They laugh at all their jokes. They open all their doors. They
sycophants
always want something from them. The red carpet's always rolled out. It's like, well, you think, wouldn't that be lovely? It's, well, not if the red carpet is rolled out to you while you're on your way to perdition. That's not a good deal. You just get there more efficiently.
And I actually think that's true. I remember working a few years ago, say maybe 10 years or so ago, and we had a very important person come down from somewhere to visit us in our workplace. So what we did, we made sure everything was tidied up, everything put away, blah, 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 sort of bring out your dead, hide your dead, etc., paint this, everything. So literally these people come to these workplaces and other areas, etc. All they smell is the smell of freshly painted whatever it is, and they never see anything as it is. I think they should see things warts and all. So literally, how do you know anything is in trouble or in whatever if all you see is brand new spanking whatever? So you will have no idea of what it is at ground level of what we're doing here, because we hide everything from the senior management. And that's not the way to go, guys. Let people see things warts and all. That's the only way you can make the change.
And so one of the things that I've tried to learn to manage is to have people around me all the time who are critics, who are saying, yeah, I could have done that better, and you're a little too harsh there. And
that's why I ask you guys here to put your stuff here in the comment section, guys. Let me know, because I'm trying to learn from you guys as much as anything else. I'll give you insight that I have. Maybe that insight is great, maybe it's not so great. There's things that I may not remember rightly, etc., etc. So literally, guys, every single day I'm trying to learn and trying to grow. So that's why I rely on you guys to let me know here in the comment section. Like, am I right? Am I wrong? I don't know. Just let me know in the comment section, guys.
you're alienating people unnecessarily there, and you should have done some more background work there. And I think the responsibility attendant upon that increases as your influence increases. And as your influence increases, then that becomes a lot of responsibility. So, and then maybe have an off day. And here's an example. I've been writing some columns lately about things that perturb me, like the forthcoming famine, for example. And it's hard to take those problems on. It's difficult to take those problems on in a serious manner, and it's frightening. And it would be easier just to go up to the cottage with my wife and go out on the lake and watch the sunset. And so I'm tempted to draw on anger as a motivating energy to help me overcome the resistance to doing this. But then that makes me more harsh and judgmental in my tone when I'm reading such things, for example, on YouTube, than might be optimal. Now, I've had debates with people about that, because I have friends who say, no, if you're calling out the environmentalist globalists who are harassing the Dutch farmers, then a little anger is just the ticket. But then others say, well, you don't want to be too harsh because you alienate people who would otherwise listen to you. It's like, that's a hard balance to get right.
But also maybe anger hardens your mind to where you don't notice the subtle, quiet beauty of the world. The quiet love that's always there, that permeates everything. Sometimes you can become deeply cynical about the world if it's the Nietzsche thing.
What the interviewer, and sadly I don't know his name, so apologies on that, guys, has said, and this is something that has always driven me. So you have all these naysayers and all these people saying the world is going to end, climate change, this, that, and everything else. Whether it's right or wrong, I don't know. But I do know one thing, and he is absolutely right. He summed it up perfectly. Underneath the surface, just bubbling away, imperceptible even, this world is one of the most beautiful places. God made this world to be beautiful. God made this world to be sustainable. God made this world to last for however long this world is going to last. That's it, be all and end all. But at the end of the day, guys, that's why I say to you, go out, enjoy this world, sniff the air, go out, breathe in the air, enjoy this world, go out and meet people, etc., etc. We live in an absolutely beautiful place. Yes, we have made some of the beauty not as great as it should be. I love watching programs on animals and wildlife and all stuff like that, because I see the beauty of this world. This world is a beautiful place, people. Yes, there are areas and there are places and things that are not so great, but in the sum of things, this world is beautiful. We need to enjoy it and we need to make the most of what we have, guys. So what he's saying is right. In its essence, that's the word. This world is a beautiful place. It's only when we get involved and do certain silly things that take away some of that beauty. But the essence of this world is we live in a beautiful place, guys. And we need to go out and breathe the air and just enjoy this world.
Yeah.
Battle not with monsters, lest ye become a monster.
Yeah.
And if you gaze into the abyss gazes also into you.
Right.
Battle not with monsters, lest ye become a monster. I like that, and I'll take that away with me.
But I would say, bring it on. Right? Because
Well,
that's why I also
JBP.
say, knowing that he's
JBP.
absolutely right, but if you gaze into the abyss long enough, you see the light, not the darkness.
Ooh, if you gaze into the abyss long enough, you'll see the light, not the darkness. Your eyes will acclimatize. You'll see the light.
Are you sure about that?
I'm betting my life on it.
Yeah, it's a heck of a bet.
Whoa.
Well, that's
Because it might distort your mind.
I remember, what was the book? Was it H.G. Wells? Do you know the book with warlocks and morlocks, etc., etc.? And wasn't that over time, these people who used to live on the surface of the earth, they actually went down and lived beneath the surface and their eyes became acclimatized to the darkness? Is that what we're talking about? Was it H.G. Wells? I'm not sure. Guys, let me know. Let me know. Let me know down here in the comment section. Warlocks and Morlocks.
To where all you see
is abyss.
is abyss,
Yeah.
is the evil in this world.
Well, then I would say you haven't looked long enough. You know, that's back to
You're just a limited
the swords, the flaming swords. It's like, so I said the whole story of Christ was prefigured in that image. It's like the story of Christ psychologically is radical acceptance of the worst possible tragedy. That's what it means. That's what the crucifix means. Psychologically, it's like gaze upon that which you are most afraid of. But that story doesn't end there, because in the story, Christ goes through death into hell. So death isn't enough. The abyss of innocent death is not sufficient to produce redemption. It has to be a voluntary journey to hell. And maybe that's true for everyone. And that's like, there is no more terrifying idea than that, by definition. And so then, well, do you gaze upon that? Well, who knows? Who knows?
How often do you gaze upon death, your own? How often do you remind yourself that this ride ends?
Personally?
Personally.
All the time.
Because you, as a deep thinker and philosopher, it's easy to start philosophizing and forgetting that you might die today.
The angel of death sits on every word.
The angel of death sits on every word. Oh, guys, this is fantastic.
How's that?
How often do you actually consciously,
all the time,
notice the angel?
All the time. I think it's one of the things that made me peculiar. When I was in graduate school, you know, I thought about, I had the thought of death in my mind all the time. And I noticed that many of the people that I was with, these were people I admired fine. They that wasn't part of their character. It was definitely part of mine. I'd wake up every morning. This happened for years. Think, time's short, get at it. Time's short, get at it. There's things to do. And so that was always, it's still there. And it's still there.
Time waits for no man.
With, I would say, and it's unbearable in some sense.
Are you afraid of it? Like what's your relationship? Yeah.
You know, I was ready to die a year ago. And not casually. I had people I loved, you know.
I will say the same, guys. So this is between me, you, and the gatepost. I used to be absolutely petrified, terrified, and scared of death. And this only has changed very recently, to be honest with you. So, as I said to you before, on another one of these topics, you know, there's been some serious tragedies, etc., in my life in the last half a dozen years. Before that, I was so lucky to have gone through the majority of my life having mostly no real bad things happen to, you know, people close to me, etc., etc., etc. But in the last few years, my eyes have been opened in other cases as well. So yes, death comes to us all. The fear of death has no longer got the sting that it had. You know, I'm not terrified to die now. And this is why I say, especially on this channel, you know, I will tell you, if I know something to be true or I perceive it to be true, I will tell you the truth. I will not sugarcoat it. I will not lie to you guys. You know, if something happens behind the scenes here or anything like that, I will just tell you. You know, there's no agenda behind it. And then if people want to come at me and stuff, whatever, and whatever they need to do, they can do whatever they want to me. You know, we only have one life in this world, guys. I intend to live it as truthfully as I can. And, you know, I'm not trying to steer you left, right, or Chelsea or anything like that, but I will just tell you the truth. So I understand 100% what our man JVP is saying here. And the thing is, you know, this is why I clicked on this and I thought I want to listen to this. You know, I too am more afraid of hell than death, because death occurs to us all, but what happens after death? That's the issue. And that's what I want to find out from a man, JBP. What are his thoughts? So I'm just going to wheel it back a little bit, guys, and just check it out.
In my mind all the time. And I noticed that many of the people that I was with, these were people I admired fine. That wasn't part of their character, but it was definitely part of mine. I'd wake up every morning. This happened for years. Think, time's short, get at it. Time's short, get at it. There's things to do. And so that was always, it's still there. And it's still there with, I would say, and it's unbearable in some sense.
Are you afraid of it? Like what's
Afraid
your
of death?
relationship? Yeah.
You know, I was ready to die a year ago. And not casually. I had people I loved, you know. So no, I'm not very worried about me, but I'm very worried about making a mistake.
Yeah.
I heard Elon Musk talk about that a couple of months ago. It was really a striking moment. Someone asked him about death, and he said, just offhand, and then went on with the conversation. He said, that'd be a relief. And then he went on with the conversation.
Whoa. So Elon Musk, when asked about death, said it would be a relief. And it's a lot of these things I say, a lot of words I say true as in jest, off the cuff kind of thing, move on. So you don't actually pick up on it. So our man JBP said that Elon Musk said that death would be a relief. So what is it in life that is either pushing and, forcing Elon Musk to do what he's doing? He's doing great things as well, you must say that, etc. But where he says it would be a relief, because maybe he feels he is not obligated. I can't think what the word is, so I do apologize, guys. But whatever drives him is driving him. And I think he won't be able to stop unless, and until he's dead. So maybe that will be the relief, that he doesn't have to do what he's compelled. Is that the word? Compelled to do? I don't know, guys. Let me know down here in the comment section. Guys, let me just wheel that again. So this thing about Elon Musk, I did not know.
Me, but I'm very worried about making a mistake.
Yeah.
I heard Elon Musk talk about that a couple of months ago. It was really a striking moment. Someone asked him about death, and he said, just offhand, and then went on with the conversation. He said, that'd be a relief. And then he went on with the conversation. And I thought, well, he's got a lot of weight on his shoulders. I'm sure that part of him thinks it'd be easier just if this wasn't here at all.
Absolutely.
Now, he said it offhand, but it was a telling moment in my estimation.
Absolutely.
So for him, that's a why live question. The exhaustion of life. If you call it life is suffering, but the hardship.
I'm more afraid of hell than death.
You're afraid of the thing that follows.
I don't know if it follows or if it's always here. And I think we're going to find out.
What's the connection between death and hell?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
Is there something that needs to be done before you arrive?
You're more likely to die terribly if you live in a manner that brings you to hell.
Oh.
That's one connection.
Oh.
Terrible.
You're more likely to die terribly if you live in a manner that brings you to hell. That is profound, guys, and that is scary as well. So this is the thing. When we die, do any of us go to hell? Do all of us go to hell? Do the good go to hell? Do the bad go to hell? And then what happens after hell? None of us know. And I think it's the not knowing, which is the terrifying thing as well. I don't know. I really don't know, guys. I have no answers. So once again, if you want to let me know down here in the comment section. It's a question that is never really debated or spoken around or anything. And it's something that, my big thing is, so if you believe in an afterlife, and then if you don't believe in an afterlife, so if you don't believe in an afterlife, and if you truly believe that once we die, that's it, no more, why are people scared to die? I don't understand that. But if you believe in an afterlife, but then you believe that before you get to that afterlife, then you have to travel through hell, I can understand why people are terrified to die. But to be honest with you, if there is nothing after life, then why are you scared for death? I don't understand. I can understand the people who are left behind you, or maybe is it that you're worried about the people you're leaving behind? I don't know. But the actual act of death, why are you scared of it? We are all going to go through life and then death. The only two things that, except for taxes, that you should be certain of is that you're born and you die. Everything else is, you know, intangibles, I suppose, that comes between that. So I'm just going to wheel that again, guys. That was really interesting. I mean, this is a great conversation.
Exhaustion of life.
Yeah,
If you call it life is suffering, but
yeah.
the hardship.
I'm more afraid of hell than death.
You're afraid of the thing that follows.
I don't know if it follows or if it's always here. And I think we're going to find out.
What's the connection between death and hell?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
Is there something that needs to be done before you arrive?
You're more likely to die terribly if you live in a manner that brings you to hell. That's one connection.
Terribly is a very deep kind of concept. Okay.
Yeah.
You're more likely to die terribly if you live in a manner that brings you to hell. I mean, I really love watching these Jordan Peterson conversations, these snippets, or whatever you want to call them, because he's so profound, he's so honest, he's so open, he's so translucent, or transparent, should I say the word is. And yeah, it makes you just question yourself in many aspects as well. And you have to be genuine and honest with yourself on these situations. So, guys, all these conversations with JBP, etc., I am trying to be as honest as I can with you. I'm not trying to sugarcoat anything. And if I feel compelled to answer those questions, I'll answer them. And sometimes, yes, it may leave me open, but there you go, guys. I'm always trying to be open and honest with you. I'm not trying to volunteer things just offhand, but if something, the occasion arises where I feel that I want to impart a part of myself, then I will. And then you guys can comment as you may. But yeah, that was our man, Jordan B. Peterson. I really don't know who interviewed him, so apologies on that. That was really good. And that was I Am More Afraid of Hell Than Death. Guys, I hope you like that. There'll be a lot more JBP to come along. There's a lot of conversations I want to get involved in. But guys, I hope you like that. And if you did, please subscribe to my channel here at Urb'n Barz. If you can like and share and put your comments in the comment section, it just helps me get up that algorithm. As I said before, guys, we only have one life to live. We only have one world in which to live that life. So go out and enjoy this world, guys. There is so much to do in this world. There is so much beauty. There's so much just that we can enjoy in this world. There is so much to do, guys. Don't be fooled and don't be put off doing what we need to do and what you want to do. Go out and explore this world, guys, and enjoy it. Breathe in the air, meet people, enjoy yourselves, but make certain you look after yourselves, you look after each other, and make certain you come back to the next Urb'n Barz reaction, guys.